Guys, I have some very sad news. Chapter 2 is ending, baby. Let's go. Fuck this game. Fuck this map. Now, originally, what I was going to do as my send-off for this chapter was a nice little challenge where I'd randomize my skin and it would determine where I landed. The video file's gone. It just straight up disappeared. So now you're getting this instead. Me fucking shitting on this chapter, and I really don't want to be the cynical, fun-hating prick in this, but I wholeheartedly believe that chapter 2 overall was a big flop. And yeah, there was some good stuff, you know, the NPCs were nice and the skins were amazing, yeah. Fuck cosmetics, okay? We need to talk about the gameplay.
Fuck off.
So to start out with, I'm going to point out the obvious fact, and it's that there's basically been no mid-season content for this entire chapter. It took them 6 seasons to start adding content in the middle of them, and yeah, okay, I get it. Season 6 was kind of questionable, okay? The makeshift guns were bad, and the primal guns... I don't want to talk about the primal guns, but I will give credit where credit is due. At least they started updating stuff, even if that stuff in question was, you know, questionable. But, like, picture this. What happened in Season 3? What happened in Season 5? I'll give you a hint. Fucking nothing. The only things that they updated in Season 3 were making the entire point of the season just revert. And the only things they did in Season 5... I'll get to Season 5 in a bit. Don't worry. Don't worry. This sort of leads in from my last point a bit, but basically, this chapter was just too goddamn long to justify the lack of content. Like, if every season with a lack of content was Season 3's length, I'd understand. It'd be fucking boring, but I'd still understand, since at least, you know, we're gonna get new content soon enough, right? That's not what they did for the first 2 seasons, which were 4 months long. And yes, okay, I get it. The second delay in Season 2 was fine. It was understandable. There were real-world problems. I'm not going to pretend those didn't exist. But Jesus Christ, can you just leave us anything to do that is, like, even remotely interesting? Like, fighting some aimbotty henchmen for the 100th day in a row. It gets kind of stale, don't you think, lads? This one's a bit less of a conventional point, but the story of this chapter was just weird. Like, I'm one of the few people who's actually sort of invested in Fortnite's story. So, when I hear in Season 2...
You'll also embark on limited-time operations that will change the fate of the island forever.
Only for nothing to fucking be affected by that. How am I supposed to be invested? It only really started picking up in about Season 5, maybe late Season 4. Here's the thing, why are crossovers becoming canon? Okay? We don't need to see how the Marvel superheroes caused the 0 point to collapse. Why can't you just do that independently? Okay, I've been waiting to go the fuck off on this all day. Season 5 is the worst season I've ever played. I am not even exaggerating. I see so many people go, oh, it was a good season. You were just remembering it wrong. Oh, I'm looking back on it. I think it was pretty... No, it was awful. It fucking sucked, man. I hated every second of it. In fact, you know what? I'm going to assemble a top 5 list, okay? Here is my top 5 reasons why Season 5 was the worst season in Fortnite. Number 1, it had a really bad map. It had the worst iteration of Tilted we'd ever seen. Colossal Coliseum was so awful, and it took a big sandy shit in the middle of the map. And we were stuck with that for 100 days. Number 2, the loot pool sucked. There was no pump. There was the charged shotgun, and the AK was a big pile of wank. Number 3. All of the new gameplay content was on launch, and everything else was just fucking collabs in the item shop. Number 4. The content they actually introduced mid-season was still bad, every new item was basically useless, and the Christmas event was basically non-existent. And number 5. It introduced the Lexus skin. The map is in this weird midpoint where it's changing too much and not changing enough. On the one hand, the middle of the map changes every single season, and almost every new POI they add gets either replaced or destroyed within the season. On the other hand, the outskirts of the map have barely been touched for the entire chapter. What's happened to Dirtsy? What's happened to Craggy? Or Misty? Nothing has changed on the outskirts. It's always the middle of the map that's getting attention. Like, you remember in chapter 1 where anything could happen? You wake up and you see this big snowy thing in the corner of the map, and then in the other corner of the map it's a jungle. Like, everywhere was getting attention that chapter, but this we'll just stick to Coral Castle, you know. Also, that's another thing. Why did they just destroy Slurping Coral for absolutely no reason and then just didn't bother replacing them? Like, you could have done literally anything to them. We were begging for Coral to get changed, you fucks. I am hoping and praying that Chapter 3 actually has some shit going on, especially mid-season. We've already done pretty good with these last 2 seasons and their content updates, but we gotta keep going. We gotta keep this momentum going. We can't just have nothing for 8 months again. Fortnite is one of those games that needs regular content updates. I appreciate I played TF2, and that game is literally that they've just abandoned it. They don't care. But at least TF2 is one of those games where you can play it for hours and hours and you don't get bored of it. Fortnite's gameplay loop at its core is just too boring to not have new content for. So yeah, that is my chapter review. If you want a tier list of the seasons this chapter, here you go. I can't really be bothered to elaborate much further. Thanks for watching, although I don't know why you watched this.